Hey everybody, John the Other here, obviously. And Gad Saad did a video on his channel, The Sad Truth, called An Open Message to All Decent People. And he makes the point that for all the people who are silent or who say things like, not all Muslims are like that, and so on, that if you are honest, you must acknowledge that there is a problem in the fundamental doctrines of the Muslim faith. In that, I mean, you read through the Quran, you don't get too many pages along before you find another statement of kill the infidel or conquer the infidel or, you know, subjugate the non-believer and so on. And Gad Saad is correct when he says that. But there's a second problem. There's another problem wrapped up in that I have not heard anybody address yet. And I would like to hear somebody intelligent and educated address this problem or question. Even as there is clearly a problem of murderousness or conquest within the Islamic doctrine, and even acknowledging that, of course, not all Muslims are like that, right? The vast majority of Muslims who are, quote, not like that, who are peaceful, who just want to raise families, who just want to get a good job, become electrical engineers or whatever, their culture and their religious elements are tied together in this religion. And so the framework on which they hang a sense of moral value, and I'm talking about the majority who are, you know, non-psychopathic, non-murderous, their value structure is still hanging on that framework of Islam, even if they're not hyper-religious nut jobs who want to go blow up, you know, a shopping center or drive their truck through a crowded street or something like that. And then when you take away someone's values, the framework of their value structure, they are in a moral freefall, as we've seen, not in the Islamic world, but in the Western world. We take away the Christian framework, and you have people with no framework at all, just cleaving to any flimsy, half-baked ideology that comes along that smells nice for a couple of seconds, and that can quickly devolve into an incoherent, murderous, totally destructive framework such as social justice or Marxism or communism. These are dysfunctional, psychopathic frameworks that emerge to fill the void left by a religious moral framework. And these emerge in the world when you formerly had a mostly Christian framework, so people who had these ideas of compassion for other people and turning the other cheek and stuff, all that lovely Christian crap, and valuation for the truth, you take it away, and then you get psychopathic, Marxist, psychopathic social justice warriors. Well, in the Islamic world, what happens to that whole culture if you take away the framework that their moral values hang on? And I'm not talking about the ones who are, you know, strapping bombs to themselves or driving a truck at high speed through a crowd. I'm talking about the vast majority of the rest of them who are just living their lives, pursuing, raising families, and so on. I mean, yes, the psychopaths in the Muslim world, the murderous people, are getting their murderous ideas from those dysfunctional elements in the faith. But if you take the whole framework away, the whole religion, then you have everybody with no framework, and you think social justice warriors are bad? You'll wish that that's all you have on your hands. When you start with a culture that has some built-in murderous tendencies already, you take away the moral limiters on behavior from their religious culture, and you're going to have something far more terrible than you can imagine. So my question for Gad Saad, or maybe Jordan Peterson, or anybody else educated on these matters, what do you replace it with if you want to push that psychopathic religion off the table, so that you don't end up with something more chaotic and worse and more violent and more psychopathic? I don't know the answer to that. And I'd like to have somebody have an answer.